I don't know how Black Love and Marriage popped up on my Facebook timeline, but it did. So I just like to think that it was divine intervention through this process. I have learned I have to work on me. So I'm realizing once I work on me, everything else falls into place because he'll see the change in me and he'll want a change if he feel he needs a change, because who am I to say he needs to change? But I just know for me that I joined CORE because it was life and death for our marriage. And so I decided I needed to put us first.
As you heard her say, she joined, which means I had to join because I was told we was joining the group. I wasn't asked, but I'm here. So I'm open. And like she said, yeah, we have some communication difficulties, but I believe with this group, we'll work through it. Hopefully we'll work through it. And it will get to the level of just being at peace with understanding and understanding that you can talk and don't always have to agree. And know that just because you're talking and communicating with one another, that you love each other regardless of the
we
situation. We
joined CORE because kind of like with Michelle, for one, the relationship challenge just popped up on my timeline, and we had maybe a couple of days before agreed that we needed to pursue either coaching or counseling or something. We haven't been married very long. It'll be 3 years in April, but it is the third marriage for both of us. So although we have lots of great examples of longevity with parents and grandparents and things like that, we haven't done so well with it in the past. So we want to do better, and we want to learn better early, as opposed to later on after we've got all kinds of years of damage going on. So the relationship challenge was awesome. And I think it has really helped to bring us, kind of back together where we were, I'll speak for me, where I had kind of gotten to that shutdown place where I was just like, okay, I'm not trying to leave, but I was just kind of done. So the relationship, the communication challenge just kind of brought us back to center so that we can really start back to focus on us as a unit. So when the CORE opportunity came up, we were like, hey, we were getting ready to find coaching or counseling anyway. So let's try this. So we're happy to be here. We thank you all for all your work and all that you do.
I just knew that we needed something, and we needed it fast. We were on life support, you know what I mean? And, I shared with the brothers last night, like, we leaned all the way in because we knew that this was it. Without this situation transforming our relationship, we probably wasn't going to make it much longer. And it was just hard, you know what I mean? It was hard, but I always would say we need to have more couples in our life. We need to be able to communicate with other couples, because I thrive in that environment, because there's a level of accountability that always comes up when I get to see, like Ursula was saying, we're not alone. Right now for a long time, we were navel gazing, and we were just kind of looking at each other like, you're the problem, you're the problem. Hold up, dude. You're the problem, you're the problem, you're the problem. And we weren't necessarily fixing anything. So now that we have an opportunity to just kind of say, let's do this work, let's lean all the way in, let's forget about what happened. We had a 9-hour conversation the other day. I told the fellas last night, I don't recommend it, but that's what it took.
9 hours.
Yeah, it was on. And we said the hard things. But we came to our why. And once we got to the why, it was like, man, what was we doing all this time? Let's get back to this. And we immediately flipped the switch. We immediately flipped the switch. And ever since that initial assignment, our relationship is
Greetings, Aize
amazing.
and Ayana Mayat. Just want to share my testimony of how wonderful an experience it's been to work or be a part of the BLAM Core program. My husband and I joined the program back in January of 2021. We initially signed up for the 5 Days of Communication Challenge, in which that's a week-long kind of intensive program, and through Facebook. And it was a great experience. The information resonated with us. There's a community, family feel. So it was just overall a great experience. And again, the information that Aize and Ayana, the way they communicated and the way we were able to digest it, the information, was a godsend. My husband and I, excuse me, we have been disconnected probably for a number of years now, but particularly within the last 2 years, it's been a bit rough to the point that I was ready to end the marriage. We've even experienced separation within a little bit over a year ago. I have recently got back together just before joining the program. So I just want to say that the program has helped us reconnect. It's helped us to we actually like each other again. We have free flowing communication. It's not forced. So I just want to say thank you again to Aize and Ayana for the blessing of this program and what you guys are doing for the Black community. It is a beautiful thing. And I thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for saving.
I know for us, just we've learned a lot through the group and just leaning in, even when we don't feel like it, because sometimes we don't feel like it and we can get complacent and time goes by and you forget those things. And it,
But you can always hit the reset button, and start a communication process back all over. You can always that's why you have each other there to help you through this process and through the program, which helps you. But you can always you might be going through some situation, or you might end up forgetting something, or a bad day, or whatever the case may be. But I know you can always, like I said, hit that reset button and start that process back all over again and stuff.
That just as through this process, I've learned a lot about myself, and I, in the past, did not really listen. I'm so busy trying to come up with a response, not really listening to you, but trying to defend whatever it is I've done or said. So now I'm in the process of learning how to really listen. And if we have one of those conversations where we go into vulnerable places, knowing how to receive that and how to support him while he's in that space. Whereas before, I would not have known how to do that. I may have just looked at him like, are you serious? But now I'm learning how to do that. So I know in my past, I was not a good listener, and I'm trying to learn how to do that more.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Wait, you got anything you want to add, baby?
I think for me, I just always kept my things to myself. I don't have to talk to nobody. I'm in the house with 4 girls, so really my happiness, my opinion of things, that shit really don't matter. It's all about them. So the things that I may have a problem with, that shit may not come out till months later. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, it's not even a problem. Like I was saying, we obviously here because of me and my faults and shortcomings. So
That's not true.
I'm just here for the experience and learn more and connect and lean more in with my wife and kind of correct what I'm doing wrong. So I appreciate everything. And again, I may not say much, but I mean, I'm here and I'm taking in everything and making the efforts.
He was logged in.
I was logged in first,
Yeah.
Okay, so
my man.
what we look that look.
No. No, that wasn't the look this time. That wasn't the look. I was just rubbing my face.
When we first started doing the relationship refresh, because at first we was, considering, are we still going to be apart? What are we going to do? And then when we saw the relationship refresh, we're like, okay, we have to, lean in. We have to start doing the work. We're paying for stuff, and the stuff is there for us. So when we was first doing it, we were sharing our homework and everything. And then I noticed that I had fallen off from doing my homework because I was not in the same connected space as my husband.
Mm.
So we had to have a serious, conversation. We had to get uncomfortable. Get down. We had to have a serious kind of like come to Jesus moment, so to speak, because we were not in the same space. And he didn't realize that, I wasn't in the space that he was in. He thought everything was great. And I was like, no, we need to have a conversation. So when we had the conversation, it helped us to know we now have to learn each other as our 50-plus-year-old selves versus to who we were. So now we have set up some times to be able to check in with each other. We've set up, hey, this is what we're going to do once a month. We're starting to set up to learn each other's differences today versus to how we were before. So this refresh has really helped because we both said we have changed. We're not the same people that we married those years ago. Though we've only been married 12 years, we are not those same people 12 years ago on things that we like versus what we didn't like, now speaking different love language and stuff like that. So that's what I wanted to share, that we, have a now renewed focus of we need to learn each other who we are now versus to who we were then.
Yeah.
Understanding that this thing about to blow up, but now there's an expectation where I have hope in I've opened myself, and I'm like, Lord, please don't let this thing go back to the way it was, because I can't take another jumping off the cliff. I won't recover. It's taking all of my strength to get here, and it's affected my whole family. So I'm like, Lord, just let this work according to how it's supposed to, and not how I think it should be. Don't let me mess it up. My prayer is, Lord, don't let me fumble over what you've given me and what I prayed for. She's what I prayed for. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be what I used to be.
That's
And
all
I
good.
know that if it doesn't work, I fall back to what I used to be, and that's not how I want to live. And I've come a long way, and being in the right frame of mind and the right relationship that has changed. It's kept me out of the street. It's kept me out of prison. It's kept me from hustling. You know what I'm saying? And it took me to dental school. It made me a father, made me a better person. Where I used to sit in the pew, I sit in the pulpit. So as you tap out, all of that goes down the drain. And I say, Lord, I don't want to go back. So it got to work.
Are you ready? I don't think you're ready.
I think they ready.
Are they ready?
Yeah, they ready.
I don't think they ready.
I think they ready. You see, minds may not always meet, and intentions may not always agree. But as long as you firmly grip the idea that conflict is both inevitable and conquerable, there won't be nothing your marriage can't refute.
There may be tears. There may be shouting. There may be silence. And you may want out. But are you ready?
I think they're ready.
I don't know if they ready.
Yeah, they ready.
But it doesn't matter, cause we gon' get them ready.
We gon' get them ready.
Feelings come and feelings go. What you gonna do with that? We know. You gotta be ready to do this. You gotta be ready to go to another level. Don't be scared of conflict. It's here to grow you.
You see, conflict will come and sometimes even stick around. It's through self-determination and discipline that you'll knock that damn conflict down.
But are they ready?
I think they're ready.
Are they ready?
Yeah, they ready.
You know it really doesn't matter, right?
Why?
Cause we gon' get them ready.
The difference between successful and unsuccessful relationships is not the absence of conflict, but rather your ability to manage it.
Manage it. Don't run from it. Don't be scared. You can do this. We gon' get you ready.
When was the last time you connected with your spouse?
When was the last time you took a minute to say, I love you?
When was the last time you took a minute to say, I appreciate you?
We all want to be validated. We all want to be seen. We all want to be with the one we love. Don't we?
We all want our spouse to know us
like nobody else does.
I want you to respect me.
I just want you to see me.
I want you to hear me.
Oh, but baby, can you feel me? That's what we want. That's what we need as human beings. Why don't we seem to understand this thing prior to being in a committed relationship? We want to spend all the time in the world and cuddle and hang out and get to know each other. But what we don't understand is that after the vows have been said, oh, the getting to know you, it has only just begun.
You gotta spend quality time with your spouse and touch your spouse. Listen to your spouse. Really tap into those parts of your spouse that nobody else knows.
You know, what I have found over time is that the easier it is for you to be vulnerable with yourself, the easier it is for you to be alone with yourself, the easier it is for you to do that with the one that you love. Don't underestimate that thing. Practice makes perfect. If you're not used to it, get started.
You gotta completely commit to the process if you want to completely connect with your spouse. Commit.
Ain't nothing like quality time.
Let's go.
Let's go, y'all.
Can I have your number?
Got my number, baby.
Can I have a change?
You got my digits.
I got your digit.
Yes, you do.
think I got a
You know
little
how
bit
to
more than just
dial
that.
'em.
I do.
How to hit all the right buttons.
How to hit all the right buttons. Yeah. Yes, indeed. To her response to certain situations early on in our marriage, I didn't expect like the attitude, the energy, the pushback, because I'm her husband, and so to some degree, because I saw this in my household growing up, I was expecting some deference on her part, and I didn't get it. My wife, she mentioned she's a Leo, she's not falling back, and so and so I had to adjust my expectations, but also communicate with her, baby, this ain't working for me.
I had a lot of doubts of whether this thing was gonna work. I was fussing with my wife, well, how are we gonna have a retreat on Zoom? I gotta sit in front of a computer all day. It ain't gonna work, but it really has worked, y'all. I wanna commend you too.
It showed me that whether I'm doing it with him or without him, we're winning together.
And everything was, if you bring God into it, you can get through it. Greetings from Honolulu, Hawaii.
Yeah.
At 3 a.m. in the morning, it was well worth the wake-up call and well worth every moment.
It really was. I benefited so much from this.
Yes.
I want to give kudos to you all for doing an outstanding job. The authenticity of it was
Practicality,
just the practicality, the relevance of it. I just really, really thank you so much.
So let me just say, everything was just really amazing from last night all the way up. And it was just a beautiful experience to see this many Black couples come together, whether we're in separate rooms, on the same screen, whatever, just how people were being very intentional about checking in. That was huge.
You say you want a good relationship. You say you want a healthy relationship. You say you want a spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and sexually gratifying relationship. You say you want marriage. You say you want your marriage. You can have it. But understand this. Marriage is for grown folks. Are you grown? Are you willing to put what's in the best interest of the relationship before what's in the best interest of you? Marriage is for grown folks. Are you willing to come outside of your comfort zone because it will make your spouse happy? Marriage is for grown folks. Are you willing to remain committed to the process, knowing that marriage is a marathon and not a sprint? Marriage is for grown folks. Are you willing to laugh? Are you willing to cry? Are you willing to apologize? Are you willing to forgive? Marriage is for grown folks. You see, the difference between successful and unsuccessful relationships is not the absence of conflict, but rather their ability to manage it. Marriage is for grown folks. Are you willing to give attention? Are you willing to show affection? Are you willing to give affirmation? Are you willing to show appreciation? Are you willing to grow? Are you willing to grow? Are you willing to love?